Radioland.
Radioland cares about us.
24 minutes past the
How
top
do
of
we
the hour.
know how many people are listening in Radioland? There it is.
Oh my God.
Okay, now let's see if this works now. Now. Radioland cares about us. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. And now you're on us.
Wow. What is that? I don't understand.
I don't understand either. I have no idea.
Is it over there? Is it over there? Oh.
No, it's not over here.
And now it's gone.
No, it's not gone.
I don't know what to do. Wait, I know what's happening. I know what's happening. You have Facebook open over there, and the audio is playing through the Facebook feed, and we're listening to the 12-minute delay.
That probably was what happened.
That probably was. See? Woo.
Lord, I didn't know what was gonna do. I didn't know what was gonna do.
Nobody knows.
I have no idea.
Thank
Good
you,
morning,
Sean.
Nanette.
Thank you, Ninette.
Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Zay.
Well, they're telling us you're on. You sound good now. So.
All right. Thanks, guys. We're
All
back.
right. I don't know what's happening though because there's still that thing.
I don't know either.
Doesn't matter. It is a beautiful day outside because you guys haven't heard us.
Let me.
What are you doing?
Let me.
You gonna go look?
No, I'm gonna start over.
Start over. What are you doing? Uh-oh.
Good morning. It's your grandma Sneak. And my boy.
I don't know what that was that you were doing right there. Oh, that's my intro.
Over.
Zay, zay. I still don't know what that was
It
that
was
you were
our
doing.
start
right now.
over.
It was our start over?
Yes. Because we had some things going on.
Do it again. What are we doing? Good morning. All right, I'm gonna sit down because my back is my bursitis. I got my rheumatism. What is rheumatism? I should find out
idea.
and stop using that joke just in case.
You might want to look it up or something. I don't know.
My bursitis.
Lorraine, thank you, sweetie. We appreciate you. You look great. I'm assuming that you look fabulous this morning. You woke up, you was looking all good, and then you put your clothes on, your makeup and your hair, and now you look even better. Now you're going to go out there and take over the world.
Yeah.
That was her morning motivation.
That's nice.
The world.
That's nice.
It's yours today. Mm-hmm. So what's happening? What's going on? What are we celebrating today? Let's get into this.
I don't know.
What do we? You know because it's on your computer.
Well, it says. Hold on.
You don't know what it says. It's on your computer. What are you?
All right.
What are
First,
we celebrating?
we do the weather, right? It is a beautiful day in San Antone.
Beautiful.
It is currently, what's the degrees? Come on, it's the same degrees every morning.
100.
No, it's
76.
77. 77 degrees. Almost got it. 77 degrees in Alamo City currently. Partly cloudy skies all day. This is annoying. Partly cloudy skies all day. The high today back in triple digits, 101.
Oh, 101.
But tomorrow it'll drop to 99.
So we're finally getting into our cold front.
And then, for the next 10 days, mid to lower 90s.
Yeah.
Fluctuating a little bit before it drops down.
We're about to get into our cold front.
Into the 80s and then the 70s and then the 60s and then the 50s. I can't wait. But that probably won't be till January sometime. Doesn't matter.
No, it's going to be
way.
December 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th.
That's the cold. That's winter.
Boom.
Apparently here.
Yeah.
I don't believe none of you people though,
And
because
January,
it snowed when I got here.
all
so
the way until that. But yeah, you came the second year of snow.
I still don't believe
Ever.
anything you people say. Y'all are liars.
It snowed twice in San Antonio, like ever, and you came on one of them.
Oh, Stephanie hit me up with the rheumatism is a noun. Any disease marked by inflammation and pain in the joints, muscles, or fibrous tissue, especially rheumatoid arthritis.
So have you been using it right?
Huh?
Have you been using the word correctly?
I think I have. Yeah, I have. But, you know, I don't want to make fun of anybody that has rheumatism anymore. So I think I'm going to stop.
Thanks.
That is my altruistic moment of the day.
You shouldn't make fun of anybody.
I don't make fun of anybody.
Yeah.
This from the pee-pee shamer over here. Anyway.
I try not to. I just make notice of funny moments.
Okay.
You know? And sometimes those moments have people in them. So I got to talk about the people.
Touche. Right. I think somebody's at the door trying to get in.
I feel like it.
You know what? You might have to wait. You want to put on a commercial and we go see who that is?
We're going to put on a commercial. Don't go anywhere.
Why are they knocking? That's my question.
Right.
Is that OKC?
It can't be OKC.
It can't be OKC. Stick around, folks.
On a commercial?
I'm going to put on a commercial right now. Stick around, folks, and we shall return.
Me and my hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
No doubt you're going places, young lady.
Thank you. And thank you for the interview as well. I can imagine it was the last thing that you wanted to do after such a long campaign meeting.
You really are a very intelligent young woman. You're very smooth.
You're very smooth yourself.
You have no idea.
It takes a village to help somebody get their diploma. Changes your whole life.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Marie, you have prediabetes.
Prediabetes? I don't have time to eat right or exercise. I'm a busy mom.
Oh, you're a busy mom.
Yeah.
This is great news. Busy moms never get prediabetes.
Wait, what?
Let me just... Yeah, this is all the people at risk for prediabetes, and way over here, busy moms. No?
Why don't you ever see elephants hiding in trees? Because they're really good at it.
You're going to be over there. Pardon? Is BSG coming on right after? No? That's right. All that's missing is you at Tank's Pizza. Don't forget to direct your pizza to Tank's Pizza.
And boom. Huh? Troy.
He's with Winter Circle. Walk him out on my shoe.
Hey, my name is Zay.
Troy.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Troy.
I love it.
A very active coalition.
Good. I appreciate that.
What are we talking about, and do they have a website?
We have a Facebook page. George Gervin, Project Alert.
Project Alert. A Facebook page. It's Pro Alert. Is that the one that comes on? April? Pro Alert. Pro Alert.
All right.
And we're back.
Hey.
Okay, so initially, our Facebook feed was really about the behind the scenes of the radio show and how things. We need a behind the scenes for the behind the scenes.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
Y'all should have seen the choom choom while I'm sitting here like this. I'm not even helping. I'm just like, okay.
Did you put the commercial
Directing
in?
your pizza.
Did you put the commercial in?
Yelling at Nika on some old, Nika, you didn't push the button. And I'm like, Nika running over there, running over here, and I'm like,
yes, we need some behind the scenes for the behind the scenes.
For sure.
So you said, oh, how times have changed.
Yes, that was my major in college.
Was it radio?
Yeah, nice. I did a radio show. I did oldies actually back in the day.
I love it. I love it. And so, what radio station were you on, or what?
I was on KGRM. It was Grambling at Grambling State University.
Oh, you went to
Stand by for
Grambling.
1 second. Please put these on so you know when you are heard and not heard.
All right.
So you can hear us, and then you can hear yourself, and then when you sound like this, then they cannot hear you.
Get closer.
All right, get closer. Exactly.
I got you.
That's his Radio
All right.
101. He knew that. He knew it.
Right.
So you went to Grambling. How did you like it?
Oh, I loved it. I'm a G man through and through.
I love it. And what do you think about, like, because nowadays we don't really. Do you think that we push our kids to go to HBCUs now?
Not like we should. You know, I'm a very big supporter of the HBCUs because you learn more than you just book sense. Mm-hmm. It's a community.
Yeah.
It's like none other. I'm very impressed with how they raised us and how they taught us. They treat us like family. And every year I go back, I take my family back for the homecoming.
Nice.
And we've been doing stuff at St. Philip's. We've been doing stuff at TSU. We were at Coppin State University in Maryland. Every time I get a chance to go to a HBCU, I feel like I'm at home.
You go. And you definitely take that opportunity to go, too, as well.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. See, that's good stuff. And I think that we need to encourage our kids to go, more.
Yeah, they teach us about life.
To an HBCU.
Does she?
Langston University. I'm very proud of her.
Yeah.
It's a real community. I really like it. And being that she's grown up in such a diverse, predominantly Hispanic area, she's with more black people and learning more about our culture and how we all get together and work together. She's enjoying it. First couple weeks she goes, I ain't staying. But now, a month in, she's loving it.
She loves it. Because she was not used to them black people.
She was not used to black
She's like,
people.
oh, Lord, they looking at me funny.
She actually said that after I left her. She goes, Mom, I've never been around so many black people in my life.
Yeah.
But she likes it.
No, baby, that was me, and I didn't even go to black school. I went to Texas A&M University, right? But there was more black people there than there was here because we was all in the same on the north side or the south side of campus or whatever. But
It sounds like so much fun.
I know.
I went to Trump University, and there was not that camaraderie. It should have been.
Did you get your money back?
Why? Why would I have needed that?
No, at Trump University, they just take your money back. Exactly. Oh, man. Well, that's awesome. Well, good morning, Radio Land. As you can see, we have guests, and they're representing the Drug Free Coalition this morning.
Right.
And so George Gervin, Project Alert, and awesome stuff. So I'm like excited because the One Radio got to be the media partner this year.
Yes.
And so I've been able to see all the great things that are happening, and the fine arts program was awesome during this summer. And it was funny because I still got to get all these videos off so we could put a big video together. But I told the kids, I said, tell me how you felt before you came and then how you feel now. And kids, you got to break it down. What do you mean, Nika? Tell me if you liked or you wanted to be here. and then tell me how you are now. No problem. I didn't want to be here.
Oh, yeah, first my mom made me come.
Wow.
I didn't want to be here, but now it's cool.
Yeah.
All right, so what's cool about it? The people, the stuff. I learned some things, you know, just real boom. But it's always that I didn't want to be here. You know, I didn't want to start. And so in this time of growing up and taking care of kids and stuff, I'm very adamant because I'm old school, but I don't have no kids. So it's hard for me to say anything. But I'm very adamant in saying, stop letting your kids run you and what they supposed to be doing. Like, just because the kid said, I don't want to do this, don't mean that they don't get to do it. Some things they must do, right? I'm not crazy.
No, you're not crazy.
Because I was like, somebody was like, well, they don't want to. So I was like, and.
And then the kids who are most resistant, they end up having so much fun. And by the way, they're going to be performing at the Phenomenal 210. So they're going to be doing that.
Nice.
And then also we have a CACA, which is what the drug-free community is under. We have a national training, and we're going to try and get them to. They want them to come perform there.
Oh, that's perfect.
So we're trying to get them noticed. We're
Very
the
cool.
only city that has 4 coalitions, drug-free coalitions, and we are the first ones that come up with a program like that for the summer. So we're really excited about it.
I'm telling you, and that was one of the goals, to do something different.
Yes.
You know, something that taps into the mind. And studies show that doing theater and fine arts helps you with critical thinking process. So, you know, obviously with kids they really be, you know how they do them little cheesy commercials when the person's like offering you drugs, or like, hey, have this, and you're like, that's so cheesy, that doesn't happen. But it do. Like, they get offered, or like, you know, tempted, or do you want some, like on a regular basis, every day at school, just all the time. And there's so many little kids, or so many young adults, should I say, that their friends do it, you know, and 1 out of the 6 doesn't, you know. And it's like, you have to look at that one and be like, I'm proud of you for not just doing because others do.
Right.
The parents
You know?
do. We have a lot of parents that use in front of their kids, but they don't want their kids to use.
Yeah.
So it's a contradiction.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Exactly. And then this play that the kids developed themselves, they came up with, not only it had to deal with substance abuse, but also they brought in bullying, and they brought in, of course, the teen pregnancy. They developed this themselves. So it was so. I know you were there. We were just busting with pride from seeing where they came from to the end, and it was really good. And how it related. It was all improv and reality for them. So it was really good, and they learned a lot. We learned a lot from them.
Yeah, that watching them is really what you learn, and be like, is that what happens at school?
Yeah, exactly.
Be like, are you for real right now? So what is it that you do on a daily?
Well, I have a program called Walk a Mile in My Shoes and Worthy of Respect. And what we do is, we started in Baltimore. What happened was, we had a situation where Freddie Gray was killed by a police officer. And I went up there and I said, you know what? How can we do something about this? So we went to Coppin State University and said we wanted to put on a program called Walk a Mile in My Shoes and Worthy of Respect. And everybody was resistant. The police were resistant. They didn't want us there. The people on the campus didn't really want us there. They said, you know, we don't like cops. And then the community was all against it. But once we got there on the 1-year anniversary, we actually trained 350 community members, 200 police officers, and 200 college students all together in 3 days, and it just knocked everybody's socks off.
Nice. Wow.
We couldn't believe how successful it was. So much so that the mayor and them invited us back and asked us to really stand it up on the campus, and they wanted to put up $500,000. And so we went up there, but we didn't have the support of the commissioner at the time. You know, we sat in a meeting with him.
Which
and
commissioner
he said,
was it? Look,
Davis.
It's voting time.
Yeah.
I need to know
He's
which
already
commissioner.
gone. Yeah, he's gone. He's already gone. They got rid of him. But what they did is they saw the program and they tried to copy it, and they weren't successful with it. So when we went up there, the last meeting I went to, they said, hey, would you be willing to do it here? And I said, yeah, but we need the support of the police department. So the commissioner at the time said he would support us. He would send his SWAT guys over there to practice kicking in doors. That was my cue to that know that it wasn't ready. They weren't ready for this.
Right.
So I told the chief of staff, I said, look, we're going to go back to San Antonio and do it here. So we've actually stood it up here. St. Philip's have been a great partner with us. Project Alert. We've been doing stuff with the Gervin Academy, Sam Houston. And I brought you guys a couple of shirts that says Worthy of Respect.
So, okay.
Tell them about the shirts.
Okay.
What's behind the shirt?
Everybody get a shirt that says Worthy of Respect.
Okay.
What this shirt tells you, the police officers get it, the parents
Me
get it.
too?
Yeah.
I'm worthy of respect?
Everybody.
That's not what Nika tells me every day.
No, you didn't. I love it.
Nika like, go sit down somewhere.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
So what we do with that shirt is we give everybody that go through the program a shirt that says they're worthy of respect. The police, the community, the students, the parents, the teachers, everybody gets a shirt. And then throughout the year, that's their ticket to get into everything we're doing.
Oh, nice.
We actually, in December, we took 400 kids bowling, and they bowled with 70 officers and firefighters.
Oh, beautiful.
We're working on a skate with the cops. We're working on a movie night. So everything we do throughout the year, that's their
I put on my shirt,
yeah,
and I'm eating for free.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bowling, moving, whatever.
I'm empowering the community.
Oh, right.
Eating for free. Is there cake?
It's donuts. You know, cops are there.
Oh, sorry.
When we first got there, the kids were kind of standoffish, and so were the police officers, and some of them were like, had their hands on their guns. And then as the day progressed, they had so much fun, and the kids, they were like, I can't believe this, that he taught me how to bowl, and they were laughing and having a good time. One of them let them put on their little vests and what is it called?
The badge?
Yeah, and the badges. And some of these kids, it was their first positive interaction with the police.
Yeah.
Other than them arresting their family members is what the kids told us. And then we did it again, and we were supposed to do it with the first responders, but that was when they had the Austin bombings.
Yes.
And the police couldn't come. The kids were so disappointed.
I was
They're
surprised.
Like, they're not there.
Because
they're
I
not
didn't
coming. Oh.
Yeah, I didn't think that they had that kind of a relationship with the police community, and all of the kids said, "Where are the officers?" So I called a buddy of mine who's a U.S. Marshal, and he came out and he helped out, and it was just it's overwhelming success. I love seeing the community and law enforcement training together and working.
So let me ask you this, because we're talking about community and stuff, and I think that this question comes up a lot when we're talking about the Black and brown community, and we always talk about policing ourselves. What do you think about just that in general?
We have to own some of what we do, you know, but we have to work together with law enforcement. It's not all law enforcement's fault, and it's not all the community's fault. That's where we do the Walk a Mile in My Shoes. We do that program. We have another one coming up on September the 24th. Maybe you guys can come and participate.
Yeah.
What we do is we bring the community and the police officers together, and the police get to be the community, and the community get to be the police.
Oh, I so want to do that.
And so it's funny.
It is
I'm so down.
Much fun. This program has changed lives, because I know when I went, and I was mad at Troy because the trainers are all white, and I even said in front of him, I said, well, why do you have all these white trainers? And then he goes, because I don't know what it's like to be white in this environment. So then when they were talking, I was like, man, I raised my hand. I said, you know what, y'all making this sound all wonderful in your lily white world, but this is not how it is. And, you know, I used to hate white cops. And then at the end, now I love his team, and I kind of stalk them. I pop in all the time. I get people. And not only that, but they made a change in, personally, in one of my environments as my son's football team. I had them come out on a Saturday, and football players came. We had about 25?
Yes.
25 boys came on a Saturday morning early, and they loved it. I wish we could upload. I don't know how to upload it, but we did videos. They do scenarios in the afternoon, and like he says, the kids become the cops. And one of the boys, his brother was killed, what, 4 years ago?
2013.
Yeah, 2013 by a police officer. And I begged his mom, please have him come. And he said, I'm only going to be here for a little bit. And he came. He ended up staying through the whole thing. And later on, his mom called me crying and said, if you didn't change anybody's life, it changed my son. And he was the first one that you had to do a scenario.
Yes.
And at one point, he put his hand on the gun because, you know, and one thing he does is he has the others in the class stand with their phones, just to be like regular people.
Oh, so
Yelling,
world star, you know, all that. Yeah.
And then Troy was just doing his role, and he put his hand, he goes, why'd you do that? He goes, because you felt, what did he say?
He said you made me nervous.
Made me nervous. But he saw, he doesn't justify them killing his brother, but he understood a lot more.
Well, and that was one of the things, because you said you switch roles. So is that kind of like a scenario? What would a scenario be? Let me ask that.
Okay, we have one scenario where the guy is wearing a hoodie, and her son actually had on a hoodie, and I had on a hoodie. And we just tell the person that's playing the officer, and we always put a real officer as their cover. And then we tell everybody else in the room, you're the community, you know, act like you would, record it on your phone. And then we told him, you have a suspicious person. That's all we told him. So he walks in the room, he's walking around, and immediately they always come to me. And I'm like, why did you come to me? He said, well, because the way you were acting. You were separated from everybody. You wouldn't take your hands out your pocket. The way you were looking at me, everybody else was more relaxed and more involved. And so I said, it wasn't because I was just black? And they said no. And then they realized that because I wouldn't take my hands out of my pocket, it escalated. And they said, well, you know, take your hands out of your pockets, take your hands out of your pockets. And when I do take my hands out of my pocket, I may pull out a gun, I may pull out a cell phone. And in that instant, I pulled out a cell phone, but he had drawn his weapon on me, and then he realized that he had his gun out. And then he could understand how tough it is.
Right.
But by the same token, we also make sure that the police officers understand what the community is feeling. I said, well, why do you think that he won't take his hands out of his pocket? And the officers don't get it. I said, because first of all, a lot of times we believe that you're going to kill us.
Right.
And how many times have you seen that actually happen?
Right.
So they're going to either run, they're going to be afraid to take their hands out of their pocket, and so both sides learn something. It's a positive message for both sides.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot because, I think that a lot of situations happen because of just regular human behavior that makes people nervous or question or whatever, right? So it's like you might not even know that you're doing it, right? And like the guy said, I put my hand on the gun because I got nervous, but you didn't even realize that you're doing it. So the person on their side, oh my God, he just put his hand on his gun. So now it's just escalated a little bit. What do I do now?
Right.
You know, and so I see how a regular situation can go tragic.
Sour quick. And you know, the one thing I begged Trey, please do it for my football team, please, because we had so many kids of color leaving, going to South Dakota, Iowa, all those Midwestern, and I wanted them to know how to behave when they got pulled over. And when he asked the question, how many of you know what you need to do when you get pulled over, even as a passenger? None of the boys, well, I think one raised his hand because his father was a cop.
Well, this is what I was surprised at. Our community gets upset when they tell us that we have to put our hands on the steering wheel, turn the radio off, turn the interior light on. And so I asked the question at every one of our classes, and every one of the white individuals that participated in it said that they were taught to do that. And I thought that they were just doing that to our community because they were afraid of us. But the white community said, this is what we've been taught. We've been taught to turn our interior light on, turn our music off, put our window down, and keep our hands on the steering wheel. I was shocked by that because I thought that was
I don't remember those lessons.
Yeah.
Well, you're not right either.
Well, I don't remember those lessons except for, on Washington Street. Yeah. That's where I got that lesson.
Exactly. You didn't get a pass.
Right. No.
And that's how we learned. So then we started telling the black community, do the same thing. And when we do the scenario, they started doing it. And we, like I said, we have the students as the police officers.
Mm-hmm.
They even said that after they saw that, they were calmer as an officer.
You're saying that after they saw the proceed, like, okay, I'm illuminating my car so that you can see everything that's happening. It's kind of as citizens, our way of putting the police at ease,
right? Because
when they're approaching the car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when we did it, I'm the driver. Mm-hmm. I had the music blasting. I'm pumping the music, and they're coming up, and I'm being disrespectful. And so the students are the police officers.
Okay.
They don't know what I'm doing in the car. They see me moving around. I'm dancing.
Right.
And they get nervous. And I can send you guys some videos. They actually. Almost every one of them had their hand on their gun, just like the police officers did.
Wow.
And then once we do it where I have the radio down, hands on the steering wheel, the lights on, everybody get a little calm. The officers, even the students that's playing the officers, they calm down. And
and I believe that. And so, like, you know, everybody, you know, my parents, I love my parents. And I just feel like when I talk to other black folks, and they'll be like, oh, well, you know, you were raised around the white folks, right? And I don't see that. I see my parents, how they raised me, and I don't see a color to it. I just see the fact that my parents raised me like this. They made this much money, and this is what I was afforded to do, right? It wasn't until I got around other black people and stuff that it was like, oh, we didn't get this, right? Y'all didn't have that. I didn't know, you know. I thought every black person lived like me. And I didn't have any difference. But like those types of things my dad taught me. I don't see it as, again, black or white. I just thought as a procedure, right? So when you get pulled over, you do these things. Now the light, I never thought about. I don't know if he told me ever turn on the light, but it was always turn the music down, keep your hands where you can see. Right. You know, have the window rolled down. Hello, sir. How are you doing? And use the yes, sir, and all that, and have a conversation. So the calmer you are, and the more you treat them like a human, they're gonna treat you like a human being. And that was everybody across the board, not just police officers, but everybody in authority.
I think what's interesting on a societal level is that I believe that our current surroundings kind of dictate to parents what the lessons they teach their children are, right? So in Garden Ridge, your dad had the luxury to be able to teach you this is how you act around these people, right? Because these are our surroundings, right? And he knew a reality that you probably didn't know, and he was shielding you from.
Right, absolutely.
Right? In this, in other just like this, in other neighborhoods and other surroundings, there's probably a generational contention, right, that exists between police and the masses, so to speak, right? So those lessons aren't the ones that we're trying to teach as parents in those neighborhoods. We're probably just trying to teach, okay, survive.
Yeah, it's a survival, stay alive.
Yeah. We're in survival mode, right? And so we take exception to having to do that because we're already angry. We think, why did you stop us? I refer back in the late 90s, they had a zero tolerance policy. So police officers' hands became tied. They didn't have an option of saying, okay, I'm going to give you a warning. They had to arrest you. And then you had 9/11. And the whole country was scared. Right. So police officers went from wearing, even San Antonio, we had blue uniforms in the in the 90s. Okay. But after 9/11, we went to black uniforms. We went to the black and white cars, and we were allowed to stop you for no reason. And the community accepted that because they were so afraid that they wanted that protection from law enforcement.
Okay.
Right.
Then around 2008, you had the banking crash, the fiasco. People stopped caring about 9/11 as much because they were losing their money. They were losing their pensions.
Right.
So when they started saying, you know, forget that, you can't just stop me for any reason, the police couldn't turn it off because we were used to it. Right. And I have to say that because I'm a retired police officer from San Antonio. Yeah. So when I saw that, I started realizing that you have to get trained.
Sure.
And we're
but there was already a decade's worth of rookies that came in learning a thing, and now
it's different.
10 years in, I'm a 10-year veteran. What are you talking about? Now I have to change my way. I've been policing for 10 years, like a decade like this. Why do I have to be trained?
And now there's an attitude behind that.
And now there's an attitude behind that. And the culture is different too. So one of the biggest stories today is actually about a police officer in Tulsa, Oklahoma, who shot an unarmed black man, who was then acquitted of her charges, and now is as a matter of fact, I can show you the story. And now is teaching a class to other police officers how to survive traumatic incident situation. So now this cop is going to teach other cops how to survive the post-traumatic thing, even after you get acquitted from, or after you don't get charged, or after you shoot somebody. This is now I would love to hear your thoughts about
about
this situation. I'm going to show you the.
That's the one where the woman was in the middle of the street with the office with the guy.
Right. So
and
he
other
broke
officers
down.
showed up.
He broke down. His car broke down in the middle of
Right.
the street, and it's here somewhere. His car broke down in the middle of the street. He's waiting for police to come and help him, and by the end of it, he's dead in the middle of the street.
Right.
By this lady. He wasn't aggressive. There's actually footage of it. He wasn't aggressive. No, that's not it. This one.
No,
probably.
okay,
He kept
so I
walking
remember
back to
that.
the cars. That's the one where he kept walking back to the car. Yeah,
I
that's
believe
it.
so. Yeah.
That's the
So
same
this,
one.
Yeah.
this
Yes.
we'll show you guys right now on the feed. You're watching.
Wait, this just happened?
Boom. So this young lady.
No, this was a couple
This
years ago.
this happened, and she was acquitted of her charges.
Okay.
The news story is that she is teaching other police officers how to survive such incidents.
No, ma'am.
So now
Survived. You survived, boo.
Yeah.
The guy didn't.
Right. And that's the current uproar. So I would love to hear your thoughts on
that.
I never liked the armchair quarterback, and the reason being is you don't know what that person was feeling at that moment, and that's why we do this training where we have the community and the police actually train together, because then they get a chance to see, the community get a chance to get that same feeling of what that officer was feeling, and it's usually fear. But by the same token, we also give the law enforcement community a chance to understand what that person is feeling in the community.
Sure.
Because
Let me ask you this question. I'm sorry. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like, and I know we're human and humans get scared, right? Should you be a police officer if, and I don't think that there's a scenario where a police officer would never be scared.
Right.
But again, this is a gentleman that whose car broke down in the middle of the road. So again, you were scared, but what were you scared of? And I don't know, because we don't know that particular situation. But a lot of the stuff is that the officer fears for their life. And to me, a lot of the rhetoric is, if you're scared, then why are you police officer?
It's difficult to say because different situations come up.
Yeah.
If you haven't spent your life in an African American community or a black community, it goes back to what Teresa was talking about. She was upset with me. She said, "Why do you have these white officers teaching this class?" I said, "I've never been a white police officer."
Right.
So when the things that they would respond, the way they would respond in the class is not the way I would respond. I grew up in a black community,
Well, if you were scared of blackness,
I wouldn't say
because I do see, like, on the East Side neighborhood, I only see white cops. I don't ever see a black cop. I make it a point to go meet the cops, right? They my buddies. I love them. I'd be like, "What up?" To the point where one saw me the other day and they were like, "Miss Nika." I was like, "Yes, he remembers my name. What up, baby?" We gave him a hug. I was like, "Remember, I drive this black car." I'm your girl. You know what I'm saying? But so, like, I love the relationship, but I also know that I don't see any black cops on the East Side. So if one of them was like, "Well, I was uncomfortable but you in a black neighborhood."
But these officers in San Antonio on the East Side, great officers.
And they want to be over there too.
They love it.
Yeah.
They love the East Side community. They're very active in the community.
They are.
Especially the safe guys and the patrol guys.
Every Friday they go to the kids'
patrol officers from the
schools.
East Side is one of our instructors. He loves it.
Mm-hmm.
He loves
He's
it.
like,
He's
"Troy,
awesome.
this is my square."
Yeah.
And he's proud of it.
Yes.
And I like seeing that. And I don't like to say black and white, because there have been black on black shootings, there have been white on white shootings. It's just that these are the ones that get the most attention. And for that officer, I don't know what she was feeling at that moment. I don't know all the details. We actually do a scenario where we do a video, and we tell people everything you see is not as you see it. And the people told me that I was crazy, and I prove it by having a room. I put a smell machine. It smells like marijuana. So when the student comes in, when the community member comes in, they smell the weed in the room, and I tell them two things. I go, "This is not my room. Right? And I have to go. So as a community member that's playing the police officer, they don't really know the laws. So we talk to them about probable cause or reasonable suspicion. So in almost every circumstance, the community member is willing to let me leave without getting ID or anything. But the real police officer always put their hand on my chest and stop me and say, hold on, you're not going anywhere. And I even have community members saying, wait a minute, you can't do that. And they go, yeah, you can, because now you have probable cause. And they said, why? And I said, what did you smell? They said, we smell marijuana. And I teased them because I'm like, you don't smell anything. I start spraying Febreze and everything, you know, like, no, you don't smell nothing. You're crazy. Mm-hmm. And so then I said, what was it? What else was it? They go, well, your eyes were bloodshot. You know, the way you were laughing and clowning. You told me you had the munchies. You know, all those little things. Then they start realizing that there's a chance that I'm high. Mm-hmm. And secondly, I said, well, why are you going to let him leave the room? He says, well, it's not his room. I said, what if he's burglarizing the room? Did you ever think about that? Mm-hmm. And they're like, no. I said, so he might have broken into the room. You showed up, and he just said, hey, this is Pookie's room. I'm just waiting on him. He's not showing up. And he took all his jewelry. Now when Pookie gets home.
You to blame.
Yeah, he's going to say, well, what did you do? Oh, I didn't even get his name. Mm-hmm. So then we show the video, and all you see is the officer putting his hand in that man's chest, in my chest. And everybody's like, oh, he's assaulting him. But then they realized, I said, you can't smell the marijuana in the video. And then all the community members go, you're right, because they could smell it. Mm-hmm. But when it's on TV, you can't smell that. Right. So you don't know the whole circumstances. That's why I kind of don't like the armchair quarterback situation. Mm-hmm. Because if I was there, I could speak more intelligently about it. I don't know what was going through her head, what happened before that, everything that led up to it. I don't know that.
Right.
I'd like to say something. One of the trainings that he did, it was some young officers from Converse, and we had one kid he was very angry, aggressive young man, and everyone was trying to soothe them, and after a while, even I was like, he's too far gone. But then they asked about shooting, if you shot someone or whatever. One of the cops said, I heard him lean over to the other cop and said, well, I'll just hope I have a good attorney that'll get me off. And that same guy, by the end of that training, you can tell him what they end up doing for that young man.
They gave him patches. It's on my website. You go to the website, winnercirclets.com.
It changed them. That training changed them in 3 days. You see it changed.
What happened.
Mm-hmm. Lorraine says,
it's down if you scroll down a little bit.
She says, that knowledge is so powerful. How many in the community understood how this all came about? So a policy and social events caused this phenomenon. 10 plus years of this. Sometimes understanding the why helps dictate the how. I can accept something more when I have understanding. Most definitely. And you know, the other day I got pulled over, Kenny got pulled over. I was in the passenger seat. But like literally, this is like 3 days ago. And the white cops, and they're not just white. They lily white, boo. You know what I'm saying? They got the whole crew cut, black glasses. They look just like the white cops on TV that don't like us. So like, you know what I'm saying? So it's so hard to see. But again, you have to break past that surface and meet the man, right? But so they pull us over. I already knew why. Stupid sticker. We gotta get that darn sticker, right? So the guy goes and he's like, hey, just want to let you know your sticker's out there. We're like, we know, woo, 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 and it's okay. So he's like, then the other guy comes up, scared the living hookie took out of me with the light. And I was like, dude, why are you sneaking up on people? You know,
that's
like,
what we do.
I know. I'm like, but to me, I felt like if I was somebody who was totally paranoid or whatever, that would have been a problem. Yeah. Right? So they coming with the lights, they all in the back seat and stuff. Okay, you pulled me over, but you don't need to be looking all up in my car. I just had a ticket, not a back seat problem.
we do a scenario about that.
You know, so that kind of frustrates me a little bit. You know,
it does. I think part of the reaction of it all, or the negative reaction of it all, and I'd love to see you guys in action, right? I'd love to see this training in action. Part of the negativity, I believe, between officers and the black community or the minority community is that sometimes it feels like overbearing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like why I'm getting pulled over for maybe a traffic thing or something, and suddenly it becomes about so much more than just, hey, your sticker is up today. You know?
Let me tell you,
you're looking at my back seat, you're smelling my car, it becomes a thing that's it's unnecessary.
It's unnecessary, especially if you stop me because of the outside sticker that's on the outside of my car. So sometimes it feels and I'm gonna say, and then he's like, I'm gonna tell you why.
Right.
Because all them people got drugs. No, I'm just saying. And I'm gonna tell you two things actually. Well, and I will tell you, crazy enough, Cruz, who is our District 2 councilman, who is also a lawyer, right? He said, look, I'm gonna tell you like this. 95% of the cops that the cops pull over on the east side either have a gun or drugs in them. If you stop carrying gun or drugs, that'll go down. They're so used to searching the car because this is 90% of the cars that are pulled over. It's now habit, right? That's what he was saying. He was like, but if y'all would stop, please, with the guns and the drugs, every car that they search, there's never anything there. You'll see that stop, right? I'm
not guessing that either, because once you,
I'm gonna let y'all say it. I'm gonna let y'all.
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna
tell you what I was told. Right, this is what I was told. And then when I got pulled over, the cop told us, he was like, "Look," because he said something. I said, do you live here?" He said, "No. They ship us in to come to this part of town to find people doing bad things, and then when we find people with just expired tickets, we let you go. Bye." And that's what he told us. I'm not from here. They shipped me here to literally stop y'all and find bad things. And when we stop people that don't have bad things, we let you go.
Well, he must be on the task force. They have a task force that comes in, and they saturate an area.
I felt some kind of way about that though.
That's why you guys need to come on the 24th to the training. And once we make you the officers, you'll come back and.
I'm certainly interested in that. It feels as though walk a mile in my shoes is a perfect name for the program. It also feels as though, I don't know if I want to say however, but I do want to say maybe because we hold police officers to a higher standard, and I say this as a man with many police officers in his family, because as a community we hold police officers to a much higher standard than just your everydays, then maybe the training should be requisite of that position that we put police in, right?
It is.
So and
I say that because the reason why I say that is because the police officers get a chance to see how you see them.
Right. Oh, no.
Well, in your
program. I'm saying your program ain't in Tuscaloosa, right? Your program is here. Or in Tulsa.
We know you're awesome. We know you're awesome. Yeah.
So I think just generally as an industry, right? Or as an entity, maybe police officers training should be requisite of the position that they hold. And yes, if you're afraid, be afraid, because that, heightened senses is what, is what keeps you guys alive and keeps you coming home every night. But temper it with experience, with knowledge, with the training of not everybody's a criminal. Not everybody of color is a criminal. Right. And maybe society also kind of, because for every police officer what's the minimum age to get into the academy?
20 and a half.
20 and a half. So for 20 of those years, you've been trained by life, right? You've been trained by television, you've been trained by movies, you've been trained by society, you've been trained by your own kind of experiences in life. Now, it makes it more difficult for the academy to hammer out some of those maybe issues that are fully ingrained in some of these cops, or some inferiority complexes that may arise from certain ones of them or what have you. But I think that it's necessary, right? Because we're entrusting our lives and our children's lives to you guys. I was taught that to feel safe when a police officer walks into a room.
When you were scared, you run
right?
to a police officer.
Run to a police officer.
Tell a police officer.
And then as I got older, it became more of a hassle when I saw a police officer than it was more of like, oh my God, thank God the police.
Thank the Lord the police are here. Yes.
And why,
now it's, oh Lord, the police is here.
In your opinion, how do you feel that could be mitigated as time goes on? I mean, obviously this program is a great start.
And our program is funded by West Care and Recast. It's a Recast grant that Bexar County got in West Care.
Okay.
And they allocated funds so that we could do this in this community. There's 10 cities that have that same grant, and Baltimore was one of those cities, and we've been trying to get into all 10 cities to actually start doing that and showing them how we do this program, because you can't do it if you don't have the right officers.
Right.
If you try to say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to replicate this program, but the officers are being ordered to do it, and they don't have that passion, they're just going to go through, we got to do this class.
Right.
And when they feel that way, the people that they're training are going to feel that way. That's why when we do it, we look for officers who are passionate about making a difference in the community.
But those are not the officers killing unarmed people either, though, are they?
I have to tell y'all, I was involved in a shooting my first year on the police department.
Not you.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
So and I actually worked in a unit where we went after some of the worst people in this city, and we drew our weapons almost every day.
Okay.
We didn't shoot, but because we got so much more training, that we were prepared for it.
Right.
You have to look at the like you said, how you were raised. You have to look at the age of the individuals. I'm a lot older. Sure. The generation
Wiser.
today, they think differently.
Yeah.
But we get mad because we can't accept it. But they fit in with society for their generation.
Yeah.
Just like when we came on, the old timers told us, oh, you young boots, you don't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cycle. The only difference is that you have to learn how to, as an officer, you have to learn how to use a little bit more restraint, because we're given a lot of power.
Yes.
Well, let me ask you this question, because this is one thing, again, I don't think that people don't like officers or anything. I just think that the stuff that we've seen in media makes us angry about stuff. So, you go and YouTube white people acting a fool with police officers, right? There's 3 million videos of white folks literally pushing officers, hitting the gun out, you know what I'm saying? Like hitting the hand that their gun is in, speaking completely out of term, the F word, the B word, every word under the sun. They're yelling at them. They're doing all this, and all of these people live to see another day. Whereas, again, innocent black people dead. Can't even see a courtroom, can't even say I was following the law. You're literally doing everything. Put your hands on the dash, got him. But do this, got it. Do this, got it. But I'm still gonna shoot you because I was scared. Like, to me, that is not, I felt threatened. That's not a good enough excuse for me as you being a police officer doing this every day, working your beat, because again, the police officers I know, they're proud of their area. So you're telling me you were scared at a person doing everything you asked them to do, but then you see these other videos of people acting completely out of hand, and again, they live. And that's the stuff I don't get. That's the stuff where I'm like, man, you just blowing smoke at my butt, because there's no way these people should not even be harmed the way they're acting, and then a black person could be dead for not doing nothing.
Well, see, this is where I differ. Mm-hmm. That's why I give you guys the shirt that says everybody's worthy of respect. Everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't care what color you are. There's a level of fear every officer has.
Right, because they're human.
Yeah, that's what keeps you safe.
That's right.
Because you have to be vigilant, you have to be mindful. But like you said, the officers in this community, they get out and they know the community, and the community know the officers. It's kind of like back in the day when they had the beat cop. The beat cop, if you went back in the day and looked at how many arrests the beat cop made, it was very little, because he knew everybody in the community. He knew your parents. He knew your grandparents. He could tell you how many points you scored in basketball, how fast you ran in track. He knew you. So you knew not to act up in front of him. If somebody did something, everybody in the community got behind them because they took ownership in that officer. Today, officers have so many calls that they don't really get to know their community. They're running from call to call, and almost everything is a negative contact. And when it's like that, you start to realize that you get jaded almost.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you and it's not just in the black community, because I would love to see what the actual statistics are for how many people in this country have been shot. White, black, Hispanic, Asian. I just want to know how many in total were shot.
Right.
And then once you break it down, you see the demographics of it.
And we do know, at least I know, and I try to let everybody else know, there's always a narrative behind why media does what they do, right? So if they're just showing black shootings, there's a reason for that. There's a reason behind that, because yes, there is probably more white people that have been shot by cops than black people, especially in certain areas, but again, the media only wants to show a certain narrative, and they're doing it for a reason. So we've always got to go deeper than what the CNNs and things are showing us, and we've got to do more research on it. But I could definitely say that I think that's one of the things that makes people just angry, intelligent people, because Glow, who's a good friend, and I know she's tuned in today, well, at least I hope so. Hey, Glow Boo. But like she always says, okay, so if they say with Facebook they're tracking you, or if you do this, she's like, well, I'm not a criminal, so I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not out here doing bad stuff. So I'm okay with you asking me this question or you doing that to folks or whatever, because that doesn't apply to me, because I'm not out here breaking the law. So I think the average person feels that way, but you just never want to feel like, again, your color or where you're at or whatever. But these ladies also have sons too. So you don't want them to be in a situation, because all it takes is one time. You only got one time. So Jay Boog can have the most fantastic life ever, but it only takes one afternoon of him being at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong cop on the wrong day because they felt a certain way. I can't bring my child back because you were scared on that day. I need you to do better. That's where the emotion comes from,
And I told Troy, I'm fearful. I have an 18-year-old, and he's a DN. He's a big boy, tall, and he's intimidating if you don't know him, because he doesn't talk. He just always has a hoodie. So I felt like, man, we need to teach these kids how to get pulled over, how to behave, and this training, they're still talking about it. And when did we do it? Like in the summer. And those boys, the football team came back, and they're still talking about it, and they want to do it again. The ones that missed out, they're like, are we gonna bring that back? I was like, y'all should have came when we offered the first time. But no, we're gonna try to do it again. But it is scary as a mom, because you never know. My son's about to drive, and I'm scared to death.
Your son's about to drive?
Yeah.
Me too.
She actually said that in the class. She was telling us, this class, what I love about it is you can be very honest.
Yeah.
Because she told the officer, she says, I hate white cops. She goes, I'm afraid you're going to kill my son. He's 17 years old. Wow. And they looked, and they were a little bit surprised by that. But by the end, everybody started understanding how the community felt.
Sure.
They started, and
how the police feel.
Right,
yes.
And they appreciated it. But they appreciated that. They kept saying, man, the people that come to this class are very open and honest, and we're learning from it.
So to your point, because we're that type of show, right? You wanted to know something, so we found out as quickly as possible.
Good.
Right? So you wanted to know about the statistics when it came to officer-involved shootings, right? So according to the Washington Post, has a database that they update on a, I guess, hourly basis, depending on what's happening. And their current stat is 679 shootings in 2018, officer-involved shootings. Now, they also allow you to break it down by state, gender, race, age, mental illness, weapons, body cameras, fleeing the scene, and so on. And according to the Washington Post, out of those 679, 261 of those shootings were of white people. 121 black, Hispanic 94, other 22. I'm getting Eskimos. I don't know. And,
Asian, Eskimo,
maybe, and unknown 181. So Okay. I would love to know what unknown
What unknown
means. Yeah,
means.
like
Yeah.
you can't tell?
Right. I have no idea.
I don't know what you
Those are all Dominican.
All Dominicans.
Because y'all have everything in you. So.
Man, listen. So 679 shootings, and most of them.
Well, number one comes in white.
Number one comes in white, but
black.
we don't know on the unknown.
Right.
You know how many? Because if you put all those unknowns in the minority category, suddenly it's even, right?
But again, that's people who have been shot by police.
Killed
now,
if
you
police.
be shot by each other in D.C., that's
right.
going to be 2,000.
You're going to add some zeros, unfortunately. Add some zeros to that number.
Yes,
so
yes.
what do those stats mean to you? And to your point.
For me, that means that in law enforcement, you make probably 1,000 contacts a day. You know, you make so many decisions.
Right.
You're always dealing with people constantly. You have to be right 100% of the time. Sometimes there's situations, like they said, they had mental health issues. There's people that just don't want to go to jail.
Right.
There's some people that get shot for the wrong reason.
Right.
You know, I'm going to be real.
Right. That
all of those things come into play, and I haven't seen an officer. I haven't met one. I'm sure there may be some out there, but every officer that I've known that's been involved in an officer-involved shooting, they felt bad by it because they realized that they took a life, put that on a life in somebody else's family.
Sure.
You know, and so what you don't know is some officers after a shooting, within 6 months to a year, they retire or they leave.
Oh, wow.
Because they have
good.
Because of the amount
and that might be a bad guy that wanted to shoot other people too.
Well, you know, I don't think that would be the case. If there's somebody that just wanted to shoot other people, he has
They'd
a
stay
platform.
in.
Yeah, he'd stay.
He has a platform.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Right. No.
Right.
Yeah. That makes
So,
sense.
No, I'm just saying,
Interesting way to put
like
it.
when you kill, like if a police officer, like I was assuming that every shooting, because like even in Law and Order, after you in a shooting, you got to go to counseling.
Yeah, Law and Order.
even in Law and Order,
Nika loves her some
you
Law
got to
and
talk
Order,
to
boy.
somebody. You know what I'm saying? You got to talk to somebody about it. So I'm assuming, but I'm thinking like any shooting, like even if the person you shot was a bad guy. You know, I know that if it was just a shooting, especially like, oh Lord, like somebody who was not like got hit by the bullet, right? And it wasn't for them. That everybody I'm sure would feel bad about. But I'm sure you would even feel a certain type of way with killing a bad man because you took a life.
Right.
You know?
And then when we see the officers get shot and hurt and killed, it's just as devastating.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because yeah.
You second guess a lot of things. You start saying, what did he do that he should have done differently? Or what could I have done? Maybe I should have
That could have been me. That was I was standing right there. I was boom. Like there's so many things.
So, yeah, it's tough. And I'm throwing out a number that I just think is true. And I believe 99% of the police officers join the police department because they really want to help the community. I deal with officers all the time. They genuinely like being a part of the community. They like helping, you know.
And they do. I know in San Antonio, they get to pick like where they want to be. And the officers, like I know over here on the east side, they all want to be over. I've talked to, not all of them, but I'll talk to a lot. And because I be having questions, and they answer them, and they're great, and they give hugs, and they're great. So I know the officers that I've met over here have been awesome. But I will say I do not see any black officers.
We have them. We have them over here. But you know,
I know.
We have them. They exist.
I promise you,
they ain't all unicorns.
We didn't all retire at one time. They might be the others on that stat.
Yeah. Right. It's the others. Oh, I love it. So, do you have a huge? What's bigger, drugs, guns? San Antonio.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. I know that having the two of them are bad.
Together.
I'll tell you a story. What happened when we were in Baltimore? We walked around, a buddy of mine and I, we started the company. For about 2 months, we walked around and went to all these different meetings. And the people in the white community that didn't live in that West Baltimore, they were making decisions on what should happen to West Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So I'd always stand up and I said, well, have you ever been over there? Well, no, but they need better education and all that. I said, well, the people are asking for jobs. You know, they want to get paid and make money so that they can take care of their community and their families. Oh, well, you know, I think the education is more important right now. I said, okay.
Other people pay bills.
I went to West Baltimore, and I had some of those shirts with me, and we were going to take some kids bowling. And I got out of the car, and there was these guys standing on the corner, 19, 20, 21 years old, slanging. And I walked over to him, and the guy says, are you a popo? I said, I'm a retired police officer from San Antonio. He goes, you must not know where you're
applies.
At. Well, yeah, well, his comment to me was, you must not know where you're at. You're probably not going to walk away from this. Whoa. And I looked at him, and I said, I just wanted to shake your hand.
I'm like, whoa.
Well, but that's because I'm a Christian, man. I don't walk with fear like that. So I said, I held my hand out. I said, I wanted to shake your hand. He's looking at me all crazy like, what's this guy doing? So I kept my hand out, so he shook my hand. He goes, why do you want to shake my hand? I said, because you're a businessman. I said, you're the CEO of your company. Mm-hmm. You're also mid-level management. Because you go home and you have to think about what are you going to do to grow your company? Mm-hmm. I said, you're a supervisor because you supervise these 7 guys behind you. Mm-hmm. I said, you're HR because when they get out of line, you have to
fix them. Yep.
I said, you're quality control because you have to make sure your product is good enough to keep making money. Mm-hmm. I said, you're creating jobs because I know you created at least 7 jobs and you're getting these guys some jobs. So you're doing a lot in your community. I said, the only problem that I have is that you have the wrong product.
Right.
I said, down the street, there's a company called Under Armour. Have you ever heard of them? He goes, man, everybody's heard of Under Armour. I said, the CEO of that company has the right product. He makes billions. If you can come up with the right product as a CEO of your company, you can clean up your entire community. And I gave him the shirt. I said, you're worthy of respect. The only thing I ask is that you not wear it when you're out here working. He said, okay. I turned to walk away, and he says, Officer Texas. And I turned back around. He says, hold on for a second. He told the 7 guys behind him, look at his face. Put the word out in the community he's not to be touched. And when he found out I was going to take these kids bowling, he went in his pocket and said, do you need some money? I said, no, we're good, but thank you. And that's the kind of impact that this program is having because he wanted to see the kids do better. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He already made his choice, but he keeps telling me every time I would see him, he would tell me, he says, I'm going to try to find the right product. And I told him, you can do it because you already showed me that you know how to manage a company.
Right. Going from you probably not gonna walk off this block to don't touch that man.
I love you, man.
I know,
so
man.
much.
I know, I'm like, man. But
ever.
you know, that's the kind of the conversation that we have now about just the streets, right? They're like the rules. It seems like the rules and the ethics and the respect is gone because what he did was respect you as an elder, as somebody else that gave him respect.
Right.
Right. So like it just changed the whole dynamic of that right then. And he probably does go home every day like, what is another product? Yeah, right. Soap. No, that ain't gonna work. You know, probably going around his whole Roman noodles. Oh, that ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But he's probably thought about that so many times of how do I change my product? Right. But he's keeping it to where, again, we always say, why is the street so crazy now? Because the rules is different. The ethics are different. You know, there was a time when you didn't shoot by no elementary school. You didn't mess with, you know, kids at a certain time, you know, different stuff. And some of them rules is out the door. So that respect and stuff.
I remember, I don't know if you know, I'm from New York City, and I remember living in a place where it was incredibly hot. And one thing that you could always kind of count on, though, was the idea that no matter how many gangsters, let's say, right, there were on this block.
All right, Gardridge.
Yeah, we're trying to. The kids were always protected. Yeah. The kids were never to be touched. The kids were always loved and provided for. And now, you know, you just saying that, and I'm like, yeah. And then I'm like, oh man, what a stark difference.
Yeah,
that's
right.
You know,
to the day
you know,
where people wouldn't let
where
you get in the
was
gang.
Protected. Now a school is like just another
It's
spot
just another
on the
spot.
block.
And to the point where
Crazy.
a gang member would literally say, "No, brother, not you.
That's right. Go home.
You go to school.
That's
right.
You take your butt home.
That's right.
You not in this."
Right.
That's right.
Right.
And I can
And they make
honestly
sure
tell
of
you,
it.
I was that kid. I was that kid that was no. You can't be here doing this.
You
Right.
can't.
You know, this is not for you. You go to school. We got this.
Right.
They saw something in you. They wanted you to come back and make a difference in the
That's
community
right.
and be able to say, hey, this is somebody in the community that made it.
Yeah.
I'm a Jersey boy, so I used to spend a lot of time up in New York, and I try to go every year. And my family's from San Antonio, so the first time we ever went to New York, my wife cracked me up. She said, "Man, this city's dirty." And I said, "Babe," I said, "you should have seen it when they had the strikes, you know, with all the what's it called?" I said, "This city was filthy." I said, "This city's clean now, right?" I said, "Giuliani and them cleaned this city up." And she goes, "What are you talking about? Even the pigeons are dirty." And I looked, and the pigeons were dirty. And I was like, "I'm telling the funniest thing." You know, when you live up in that area,
You live in the streets.
Let me tell you
don't
something.
see it.
Pigeons live in the
Everything.
streets.
When I went to New York, I was like, trash cans, walking space, building. Right? Like every trash is right here. Like y'all don't have no place to put your trash? Yeah, right here.
When
We
did
got
you go?
backyards. We got.
When did you go?
Oh man, it's had to have been 6, 7, 8 years now. But
there's a trash can on every corner. There is no litter on the sidewalks.
No.
There is-
The trash cans. That's what I'm saying. It was trash cans. It was not trash, but trash cans. Like filled with trash. But it's like right there, you know, because we have space in Texas and in San Antonio. We
At
have
least
land.
space.
So, you know, you have to like, you can actually walk down a driveway. So the trash is separated very nicely from the building and the front or the back. Where New York, there's a door and there's a trash.
Oh, I see what you mean.
But
Like
I'm
on trash
trash.
day where they line up the trash on the
Trash.
sidewalks and wait for the
Like,
trucks to come.
Why
and
is
take
there
them.
so much trash?
9 million people. That's why there's so much in 12
Like,
square miles.
right
That's why
here,
there's so
right?
much trash.
Like because we have land, you know, and then you can't see nothing in New York. Everything's a building, and so you're like, where's the sky? You see pieces of sky, and then where's the sky?
You know, the first
What's
thing
the
I
problem?
noticed
What's the problem?
when I came to San Antonio and they told me they were going to take me to the housing projects, and I saw the housing projects, I was like, man, we pay good money for that.
These are actually houses.
I was like, man, I said, they
There's the
living
projects
good.
part.
I said, they don't know how good they have it. We grew up, we looked at pictures of food.
Wow. Right?
For dessert, we had sleep.
Yes.
So
Heating the house with the oven.
I'm cracking up because you're right. There's, you know, different sides of town. Because even America, period, when you talk about poor in America versus poor on the other country on the other side, you'd be like, oh, that's a whole nother kind of poor. That's a whole. Our poor people got flat screens.
I saw a doc a few weeks back where they showed a ghetto, so to speak, in Canada. And I was like, ooh, like a projects. And I was like, oh my goodness, they in condos over there. It's so clean, and people are just like
That was the
jogging
ghetto?
and walking their dogs. And that was the projects over there, you know, government
about they
housing
only-
or whatever.
yeah.
And
Talk about
it
they only
was
get 2
like, it
meals.
was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. They had strawberries growing in the rose gardens.
I would love to be broke over there.
And then in that same dock, that was directly across from Detroit, right? Across the Lake Michigan.
Okay.
But like you could see each other. If you could see across Lake Michigan, the two would be like this. And then they just drew a line and went into Detroit and went to a projects, and night and day.
Man.
Night and absolute
Night
day.
and day.
Yeah.
Father, tell me about how when you was a nigga, father.
Talk about,
Let me know how that was.
Yeah, they talk about, we're broke. We only got 2 meals today. I said, man, where I grew up at, the only time we ate is when we went to a funeral.
Oh my gosh.
Ate good.
We took Tupperware.
Wow.
How you think I became?
I'm
Can't
telling you.
police officer.
I'm just saying. Now, see, some things are just black stuff, right? It don't matter if you're broke or whatever, right? Because I know we did that with the foil. my daddy had some. Hold on now. Man, let's say that. Say that. I ain't need that big old piece. Say that.
Waste, right? You wasting food. You don't understand.
Take it off of one thing and recover it over it. Come on, that's nasty. But my daddy, something about the movies, man, we still, he carried hot sauce everywhere.
That's
like,
my mom. Everywhere.
I was like, what, they don't have hot sauce at the restaurant? Not just Tabasco. They don't be having this Tabasco. Okay, so carried his hot sauce. And when we went to the movies, like, we took fried chicken.
You were the one.
Theater. Good. Yes. I know. The rest of us all mad because we can smell it.
Because you can smell it.
We can't even enjoy the movie anymore.
My mama would put some fried chicken in, and then my dad would have the nerve to be like, give me the hot sauce. I'd be like, oh my God, we in the movie theater. But
John Travolta singing.
Yeah. I was the only white girl in the family. They were black. I was white.
You know what we used to do, right? We used to all pitch in and give somebody $2 so they can get into the movie with a little video recorder, and they record the movie. And you got heads standing in front.
So that may or may not have actually happened. Remember, this is an entertainment show. And sometimes the stories we tell aren't necessarily true, especially when our officers tell the stories. They're not always true.
I was about to say.
I wasn't born a police officer.
I was about to say. I think I bought some of them movies.
Them's just jokes, people. Them's just jokes.
I thought he was going to say, give him money so he can open the back door.
Let me just switch cameras.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say.
Cameras have been switched.
Yeah. I can't even do this conversation, right? But yeah, I thought he was going to say,
y'all act like y'all don't know about the bootleg movies.
Well, I do.
I heard that such a thing existed, but I didn't. I've never seen one in the wild. What are they like? Do you buy them?
The man from New York.
Do people just hand them out in the ghettos? How do you receive such things?
He said, do you just hand them out in the ghettos?
Honestly, I need to know.
That is,
you guys are comical.
Yeah, you too.
I know. This is all the way live.
I love it. Well, you know, I tell you what, tell them again about your program the next time. Can anybody sign up? Yeah. So if someone's watching and you want to be a part, this is how you do it.
You can go to winnercirclets.com and you can sign up. If you go to the website, you'll see where it says we have a training, and you click on it and it'll say community. It'll say view the training schedule, then it'll have the community side and have the law enforcement side. And community, you can trust me. We're not there to arrest you. We hear that all the time. You guys are setting us up. We're not. We really want you guys to give us your true feelings about what you think about us. Like I said, we're blessed here in San Antonio. We have a great department and a great community. You know, our chief is very active in the community, McManus, and I think the world of him because he gets out and.
I like McManus. And you know, McManus, he doesn't just he gets out places, but McManus comes here. Like, he comes to talk on the Run Radio and talk to anytime there's something major happening, he'll always come by the station and just talk about it, you know, and ask questions, or you can talk to him. So, and then when he sees us out, he likes to DJ too. He loves music, so he always wants to pretend like he's DJing. But I think that McManus is great for the efforts that he puts to be present, because he don't have to.
Yes.
Right. You know?
He's an old Philadelphia guy.
Yeah.
He's from Philly. He and I grew up about 15 miles away from each other.
Nice. Nice. I like it. So they go to the website, sign up.
And then it'll give you all the instructions on when we're going to have the next class. We email you parking passes and everything that you need. Beautiful. And then you participate. You could participate in a 1 day, or you could participate in a 4 day. Beautiful. The 4 day training, we actually do what we call psychological tactics. That's where the community could talk about the things that they're seeing in the community and how they feel afterwards. Like if they see a murder or a death, how hard it is to sleep at night. We can talk to them about those kind of things. Then we have 2 days of crisis de-escalation, where they get to learn how to de-escalate a situation in the community and also with police officers.
Good, good. So the site is in the comments. I believe Zay hooked you up to put you in there. We're definitely, I mean, if we can come by and see what's up, maybe do some coverage and stuff so people can see what it looks like too as well, and what we're doing or what you guys are doing. We will definitely be doing that. But just know, hey, this is somebody you can come and ask questions to or talk to or whatever. You know, I think knowledge is the key. Somebody had said when you're more knowledgeable about why things are in place, why certain programs are in place, why they're doing certain things, that, you know, you can feel more comfortable about what's happening around you. So, you know, knowledge is power. And knowing that our police out there, especially I know the guys over here on the east side, I'm going to tell you, there is a group of them. I don't know exactly. I think you said the name, but they go to the every Friday.
Yeah, the safe officers.
The safe officers. They go every Friday to the schools, and I know for sure they do it on the east side. I'm sure they do it on all sides of town, but they go to their PE class, right? And they go and they play sports with them and do all that kind of stuff and dance and talk. And they said the same thing. The first day they show up, the kids are like, who these white cops? Or and this is true stuff, right? They're not saying, oh, who are them white cops at our school, you know, or whatever the case may be. Within the second to third day that they see them, hey, what up, man? What's up, man? How you doing? They giving dap. They teaching them handshakes. They doing all of these things, and they are now friends, and they look forward to seeing them every Friday. This is the point. This is the purpose. So I love it. We'll definitely see you there. If you have any questions, or maybe you want to be involved in the drug-free communities with Gervin, they meet every
third Thursday of the month.
Third Thursday of the month from 11 to 12 at the middle school.
Well, we changed it this year. We're going to meet in the main office.
At the main office.
So you could call me. It's 210-804-1786, extension 8628, and I will give you information and come out and talk to you about being a coalition member. We need more community people.
Yeah, and we just definitely have their information too on in our directory, in the On Life magazine. Just look for George Gervin Project Alert, and you can get more information about that. You can volunteer.
What's the phone number again?
You can be part of the
210-804-1786. Extension 86. Oh, sorry.
I know, she did say that fast.
Look at you.
804?
804-1786. Extension 8628.
And definitely stay in tune, because we'll have some more things, because again, Teresa works with Project Alert, and then we've got Adrian House and Doshi Piper and our boy, Mr. Mitchell, who works with EPPC, and then there's a few other programs out there as well. But these guys we are their official media outlet for both of those programs. So anything that they do, we're going to make sure that we put out there and let you know what's happening, and any opportunities to sign your kids up for a program or something that we may be doing. You can find that information here with the one as well. And I'm definitely putting your stuff up.
Great.
So
great.
We'll put that up, and hopefully we can, you know, get some people to sign up for the 24th.
Yes.
The 24th. It's going down.
Yes.
I know, all of y'all. Everybody, every civilian's going to pull their gun or touch their gun or be like, it happens.
And then walk away.
Yeah. Be like, okay, I understand why. Because, you know, fear is big, you know, and you need to have fear to stay human. But you can't have too much fear. It's got to be a nice balance.
You have to control it.
Yeah, nice balance to it. Zay's afraid every morning.
With you.
Man, you guys have an awesome program.
Every day. Every day. Nika comes in, and I'm always like, I don't got nothing. I don't got nothing. It's terrible. You know what? I did have one last question, though. Where do you stand on replacing or supplementing firearms with stun guns?
One of the things that happens if you pull out a taser, you have to have a weapon. Also, somebody needs to pull out a gun, because there was an actual incident in Florida that happened where the guy was up in the attic. The task force officers, the marshals, and the local police officers went up in the attic to get the guy, and the guy started acting squirrely. So they put out a taser and they tased him. And after they tased him, he was hiding a weapon. He ended up shooting the officers.
All of them?
He shot 2. I think he shot 2 of them up in the attic. And so officers know that that's just a tool. It may work, it may not work. We teach de-escalation as much as possible. We teach slowing things down, how to slow a situation down. There's times when you don't have a choice. But for the most part, if you do have a choice, we say, let's get numbers. Let's slow the situation down where we control the outcome. And then you have less of these incidents.
And I know that as I remember thinking to myself, what happened to shooting people in the knee?
That's a scenario.
I was going to say that
we
they
hear
show
that so
a
much.
video of one cop running in. It was just a trash.
Don't tell them all the secrets.
Don't tell them all the secrets.
You gotta come. That's changed so many people's perspective of why you. Because what's the one guy said? Why didn't you shoot him in the knee? Why didn't you shoot him in the leg? But once you see this, it makes it so real with that body cam. It's good.
Because we prepare you first. We do a little drill with you that you have to do first, and then when we show you the video, we ask you again, do you think you could shoot him in the knee?
Got you. All right.
He got
an answer for everything.
Right. Well, you know, it's from learning. I listen to the community. I listen to the police officers, what they wanted. We talk about what the police see. We talk about what the community see, and then we put those scenarios together.
I love it. I love it.
It's awesome.
I'm excited. We will definitely be in the place, definitely, so we can give some more information to folks and get that out there, because I think that's really good. I like it. Well, folks, it is that time. Almost that time.
It's almost that time.
It's almost that time. Do we have anything going on? Zay cries. Hey guys, Zay, I just want to say this real fast, just in case you didn't hear it and you didn't know. Zay is in a commercial.
I saw it.
Okay.
Don't email me. I know Zay's in a commercial. I sit next to Zay every day. Like, you're not telling me anything new. Hey, nigga, did you know Zay's in a commercial? Yes, I did. As a matter of fact,
she was near there when we shot
I
it.
passed him when he was shooting the commercial.
All right.
We talk about things here other than the show. Yeah, I like him. I like him. He's my friend. But let's congratulate him on his wonderful job in his commercial. We hope that many more commercials come his way.
Yeah.
If you need security, call me.
It was one commercial. Calm down.
Not yet.
It was 2.
We're ready for you there.
I got your car.
To get an Emmy and everything. I'm just trying to get a seat when you do.
Stop it. Here's another thing that is actually relevant to, I guess, what we're talking about, right? Guns and stuff. So, trying to get the story right in my head before I say it. I want to say Seattle judge just upheld a motion to continue with the ban, if you will, of posting the instructions on how to make a 3D printed gun. Right, so it's currently not allowed. There was a motion that was put out there well, the motion had an expiration date on it, but then another motion came up and was like, we need to continue this ban until it can be properly litigated.
Yes.
Because
you can put real rounds in the 3D printed gun.
Right.
The whole 3D thing is amazing to me. Have you ever been to Office Max and seen a thing actually work? It's like from nothing to something.
It's amazing technology.
I'm like,
right.
What just happened right now?
So what is your position on the right to bear arms? No, I'm joking. What's your position on this? Like 3D printed guns, should people be allowed? According to the judge, he just felt as though this private person's, he wrote in his decision, he wrote that this private person's First Amendment right is outweighed by essentially the good of the people, right? So that's this particular judge's feeling. What do you feel?
I think with those 3D printed guns, it's going to be a problem. Yeah. Because if the people that can get access to those, you might have kids getting it.
Oh, yeah.
You have they're smarter than us. They know how to work computers and stuff. You know, you'll be sitting in your room and you tell them they can't have another ice cream. Next thing you know, that kid came out with a 3D printed gun. And
what you printing in there?
Right.
Nothing.
That's right.
And you know, to make it even more interesting, which people probably don't get the detail of it, the material that it's made of is just like Lego. Like if you ever held a Lego, that's the material that the 3D printed guns are essentially printed of.
Printed, yeah.
It's that composite.
Can it be detected? No.
Plastic. It can Legos be detected?
And from a law enforcement perspective, I think that would cause more shootings.
Yeah.
Because you have kids walking around with toy guns, and these things look like toy guns also. So I think it would cause it would create more of a problem. Look at it. When you look at it, it doesn't look like a real gun.
Yeah, it does, and it can hold real rounds.
See? So
it can hold a
that's
real
just creating
bullet.
another problem to me.
Yeah. And I think they've made some, or I don't know if that one can hold up to 4 or 5.
This particular one?
I don't know if it's that one or a different one, but I know he's the one that has the blueprint because we talked about that.
Right, he made it. He invented it.
Right. So it can hold real ammo. So I personally think that,
they haven't tested it enough that they, if you fire a real round out of it, will it destroy the weapon, and how would it hurt somebody?
Right.
Other things is,
I think I read.
How much
that
does
in
it
his
cost?
First, well, look.
'Cause it's just the blueprint.
All your questions about 3D guns answered.
Okay, let's answer them.
Let's answer them. So, you guys keep talking while I find
just what are the right? I was like, I thought they were gonna go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
No,
I'm trying to find out because I want to. If they're not that expensive, I'm going to give them away for Christmas presents.
No, you are not, sir.
Those are toys.
Along with a DVD copy of your favorite movie.
I was just about to say that. 3D guns.
All your personal goodies.
We're just handing out in the ghettos. Is that what it was?
Bootleg CDs. Man, I'm kidding, everybody.
How hard is it to print one?
Yes, no, we know.
Anybody can do it.
Even machinists with average skills are able to produce 3D printed firearms. He said that 3D printing is more accessible than ever because of software improvements and some slight reductions in the cost of 3D scanners and fabrication tools. So it's not too hard to print one. Can anybody do it? Well, you'll need some money. The higher-end 3D printers needed to make such weapons cost thousands of dollars and may be too expensive for most people. Of course, that doesn't ease the concerns of those who think that guns made from 3D printers are a bad idea.
A bootleg version of $1,000 version.
Right.
Always.
Somebody sneaking at night.
Yeah.
He's like, his blueprint is 1,000, but mine.
Okay, so in 2013, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives made a public tests on the Liberator model, which is basically the one gun that he's trying to upload the blueprints for. One gun made with a plastic called ABS M30 fired a .38 caliber round without failing all 8 times it was tested. Wow. So the gun didn't fail.
It didn't break.
It didn't break anything. It was a gun. ATF officials said, describing it as a lethal weapon. Another pistol made from a plastic called VisiJet didn't perform as well, with a video showing it exploded into a dozen plastic shards when fired. So I really guess it depends on
the material,
the quality, like anything else in life.
Like anything else,
you know.
Who is testing that? It's like, Lord have mercy,
man.
I knew I should have got that better quality material.
That's floss. I put some floss on the trigger and go around.
Right. Because I'm like not doing that.
But if you see kids, let's say, imagine that was in somebody's house, and a kid saw that and he thought it was a toy.
Exactly. Or it doesn't even have to be a toy. Just anybody saw that, because it's not just a kid, it's an adult too. How many of y'all have seen 3D printing actually happening, then picked it up and used the stuff? Very few. So we're all curious about that. You know, it ain't just a kid that's finna pick that up and hurt themselves.
Right.
Adults is about to do it, and people in between. Even the dogs is gonna be like, it's like, yeah, like for real, like because it's just, and it's new too, so people are gonna be interested in it and what's going on with it, and so yeah, this is about to. I feel like it'll start a whole new thing.
Stephanie Vella actually has a question on the feed right now. Are you sure you were a cop?
But she put LOL behind it.
I know.
She knows.
Sure, I could.
Yes,
I
Officer Smith.
could tell you where all the donut shops are in this city.
And you have to remember,
Tacos here,
just
And
like
tacos.
a cop is just like a pastor. A pastor ain't always been a pastor.
Right.
And a cop ain't always been a cop. And you ain't always been grown, so you know you done did something too.
Thank you, Stephanie.
All right. Well, now.
Yes, I thank you guys very much for tuning in and hope you got some good information. Definitely hook up with our boy and get in that class. And if you do, we'll see you guys there. Then we can have a conversation again about the things that we learned and that we saw. Again, Drug Free Coalition every third Thursday of the month from 11 to 12 in the main office.
Yes.
Boom.
Thank you.
We like to end each show with a prayer. Would you mind joining us?
Amen.
All right.
Dear Lord, thank you so very much for waking us up for another day and giving us another opportunity to uplift the kingdom. Thank you for our lovely guests this morning, and may they continue to make a difference and a positive difference in our communities. Continue to teach people and uplift people so they can be the best of them. Give them all the things that they need, the necessary supplies that they need, the necessary people they need to be a success. Give us traveling grace today, and of course, let's keep joy in our hearts, knowing all things are possible through you. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. There you have it.
Absolutely. We love you guys, and you know we love you guys.
For sure.
So until next time, keep
Absolutely. So there's 3 things now, right? So there's keep it classy, keep it clean, and keep it sexy. We love you guys with everything. We're going to see you guys tomorrow. Kissy face.
We out.
Man, you guys are awesome.
Thank you.